Okay, so reminder that the survey is open and please share widely. The statistics and analytics toolkit has not moved. I'm just adding to it. I have added how to set up a sushi vendor with some instructions directly from the vendors. So if you're like, wait, it says it wants requester ID, where do I get that? They've given like, go to admin and click this. So there's more in that than there was before. And I'm just continuing to kind of build that out. But today we are going to focus on the consortium IPEDS dashboard. So I am going to go through the first few steps of like basically what I did to move it, and I am using Edmonds for this example. Thank you, Claire. So when you go to the catalog, to this shared community, community reports, consortia, whack to click, and then the do not move or modify. So all I did was go to more and copy, as opposed to opening and save as. Then I went into the institution folder, into dashboards, and then paste. You can't actually right click and paste, which yeah, and you can't, there's nothing else to click. So you have to click the paste button up here, and then it shows up and it brings with it all of its prompts and analyses and embedded dashboards. So when you do it that way, everything comes over together. Now, that doesn't guarantee everything works. In fact, it's guaranteed to almost not work. But what we're going to do from here is the demo of how I then started to get the dashboard to work for Edmonds. And hopefully you can kind of follow the same process, or if you'd like to book some time with me, we can go through and do it together. So I'm just going to open. And so we see the different embedded dashboards of the giant dashboard. And so some of these are unprompted analyses. So they're going to just run live. And some of them should just automatically work because, hold on, really? Now you're calling me back, Google? Thank you, but no. How do I mute you? There we go. They said they'd send me an email and then they didn't, and now they're calling me back, even though they won't ever answer when I call them. Okay, so the physical titles, this one, the prompt is set for last year. So you can see we have physical titles as of well, last year, 2021, 34 to 23. But if we change that and apply, it will reload, and we get 34,730. So good indication that it updated correctly. You, of course, probably want to investigate each analysis individually, and we will do that with some of these. But if you're seeing what you expect to see, there's a good indication that it is working. So I just went through every single tab to see what was loading, what needed prompts. So this one needs to be prompted for last fiscal year instead of 2 years ago. The adds and deletes also requires a prompt. Expenditures won't work unless you have that part activated in your system. So if you are using POLs and attaching them to expenditure lines and all the rest of it, then that's a good place to start. I have not done that kind of setup before. So this is an area where I will be doing some more exploration. But you can see there are specific dates as well as past fiscal years listed, and these come from the prompt, not from your system, so they might not match up. So if you click on this and nothing gets populated, it's a good indication that the analysis needs to be edited. I won't share admin's expenditure information. Electronic collections. This is where what you have activated in Alma will take effect. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is sushi. So this is just what you have active. So like you can see, as of 2021, there are 140. And then when I went in and updated this, because I went through to check all these, and don't forget to hit apply. Now we have 233. So good job, admins, activating more collections. You'll notice that some of these are separately prompted, so they won't update together. As far as journal titles, I am not sure if it dedupes. We could go and look in the actual analysis. So electronic usage is the one that is least likely to function for a couple of reasons. One, it seems to have been built primarily with counter 4 as the default, which, as you can see, then, and also, if you don't have sushi data coming in, there won't be anything to pull into this dashboard. So I went ahead and I already edited one section of this so you could see how it might work. So I'm going to change the dates. Okay, and apply. And then refresh. Oh, come on. You worked a little bit ago. There we okay. Well, it was working a second ago, but we'll get back to that and we will troubleshoot it together. So this is the one that is least likely to work, but don't be discouraged. There's some interesting filters in there that keep you from even seeing whether you have a sushi vendor uploaded correctly. So anyway, we have circulation, and again, it's gonna ask for some prompts. And what's a little frustrating about this one is the circulation has this material types to exclude. So if you have a lot of material types and you want to exclude everything from book, you're clicking a lot of boxes. So I might play around with creating an additional prompt or changing this to a materials to include, so that you can limit it a little bit easier. But again, this one populates pretty automatically, should automatically work. And then Dewey and Library of Congress, Age of Collection, just shows the number of titles published in a certain time frame. And this, of course, is based on what's in a certain field of the bibliographic record, which some might be missing, some might not be accurate. So it's just kind of a rough guesstimate. So yeah, so this is what I did in Edmonds. Copied rather than open and save as, because the copy brought it everything together. And then just went through to see what wasn't really working. Now I want to get electronic usage working. So I'm going to check this out by going up to the gear setting here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit dashboard so that I can see kind of what is sitting in this. Maybe there's something hidden that I'm, like not seeing. And so we've got the text. This is the prompt, the e-usage prompt. So I know that might need to be edited. And then in the multimedia usage, we have an analysis called e-usage multimedia MR1 and e-usage journals JR1. Both being compound view means that they require the e-usage prompt in order to populate. So now I swear I got this multimedia one working. So I'm gonna go ahead and open and go to I hate this view that they don't let you get any bigger. Okay, so e-usage, we want the multimedia one. Okay, there it is. So here's this analysis that's sitting right there. And we're gonna open it up and see what's going on. I probably didn't save my changes. The view that was in this position in the compound layout is no longer available. Please select a view from the list above. So that's why it's not showing up. However, we do at least have some data here. As it turns out, it's not pulling I don't know what's going on, but so this one I have updated. Platform was already there and uploading vendor was already there. But instead of usage data details release 5, it was actually set to a, what's the word when they get rid of it? The old counter for, it wasn't even this usage measures total. I think it was one that's just not even in existence, an old measure that they've gotten rid of. So I put in IRM1 from release 5 because I know that I just added that report as a report type that we are pulling for ProQuest at Edmonds. And that's just down here, total item requests. It also had 2 filters. One was that the usage date was prompted, and the other was that the usage was greater than 0. Well, since there was no data for that, even though there is 0 in the IRM1, it just wasn't showing anything. It just was completely blank, no vendor, nothing. So I just got rid of that, because if you're pulling a report, if you're pulling into Alma to see this visualization and you have an electronic resource that's not getting any use, and that's a legitimate 0 use situation, I would think you'd still want to know that because it probably means it's not findable, it's not activated, you know, it's not authenticated or proxied correctly, like something's going on. So I got rid of that filter. So you can see this one. Let's figure out what this this view error is. So it says, please select from a view from the list above. I'm going to assume this is what it means. Okay. Yes, that's so is that format container? Nope. Is that edit view? Okay. Yeah, okay, so total request members. Yeah. I'm gonna say done and see if it just, nope, okay, that wasn't it. Anybody have any experience with this one? It's the danger of a live demo. Title view 1. Let's print and export new view. Okay. Haha, that's not the view we want. However, we can probably just do a table. And save. All right, let's now go back to the electronic usage dashboard and update our date. Apply. Oh, come on, you know you wanna. Okay, let's investigate it. Okay, this is what it says. So what we could do is also delete and re-add it. But I don't want to do that just yet. I am going to go back to this and try again. We're not getting the error this time. So this is where you could, so this is telling us that the prompt that this report is going to rely on is from someplace else. It's the page 1 prompt. And so we'd need to go in and edit that prompt for all of them if we want to change it, and we can do that next. Okay, so what do we think? Add, oh, we'll add a pivot table for funsies. And see if that shows up. Save. And we may, yeah.
So I'm trying to do my best to follow along. When you're at the editing of the dashboard and you kind of see the placeholder boxes,
Mm-hmm.
when I was looking at, so I tried to follow what you said, like we're just doing and replacing the counter 4 with the counter 5 report. So not quite at this view, but where you see like the prompts, yeah. In the multimedia usage, like e-usage down on the right, yeah, that one. I was clicking up in the XYZ area. Oh, and then there was an edit analysis, which I happened to click on. I didn't mean to, but it was like, whoops. And it went back to the analysis, but it still shows counter 4 and counter 5 as part of the criteria. Is it still pulling, like, is that just me or is that, so yeah, like there.
Yeah, so that's pulling it from.
Didn't you get rid of that one or did I miss it?
This is a totally different one. So, okay. This is good fun. Hold on, let me just scream at the dog for a second.
It looks like that XYZ edit analysis, like maybe that's what we need to use to make sure we are editing the right analysis.
I am concerned that this might be linking back to not the one in our folder, if that makes sense. And maybe that was a warning that I heard and didn't understand at the time. Let's come back to this, although this wasn't even the one that I found when I originally copied.
Carly, if you try to do a save as, like don't actually save as, but just do save as to see.
Oh, where it is.
Where, yeah.
Yep, this is the one that's still in. This is their original. This is the
so
KLN.
Even if you copy and paste all of the little sub-reports inside the dashboard,
it's still linking back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
Okay, so fixable. All right, so we're gonna go into the electronic usage embedded dashboard. We're gonna do edit dashboard. We are going to get rid of that. And then we're going to not add a dashboard page. I want to, it is content. Okay, and nope, that's not it. I bet you. Oh, no, don't do this to me. Ugh. Why does it, anybody know why this does this?
I think if you let Alma kind of lapse without doing any activity in it, it eventually signs you out of Oracle. I think you have to like keep popping back into Alma and click things.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look at your other tab,
Yep.
it says,
yep, I'm out. Okay.
And you're gonna have to close down your
yep.
Alma Analytics tab.
I've been in here playing since like 8:30 when I got back from dropping the kids off. So, okay. Okay, wait. Let's make sure I'm opening the right one. Yeah, because I'm not. So this is the problem when you copy and don't rename. Note to self. Okay, so this is the one we want to open. And the usage. That's the analysis. Okay. So you can update that. That's the prompt. Yeah, so it's interesting. So some of the report, so it is pulling a report from a different location, which might just work on its own, but if you have to edit it, isn't going to. Okay, where are we? Want to. Not collections, I want electronic usage. Okay, now we will edit. Now we're going to get rid of this one. And then we're going to pull in that one. All right, and now I'm also going to go back to, save. So now we know it's linked to the one that's living in our institution folder. But we want to make sure that that's actually the one I edited. Okay, yes, it does seem to be the one I edited. Okay, so now. Ooh, yeah, so if you copy and then don't relink, it breaks. Good to know. Thank you, Kirsty. Isn't this fun learning together? Okay. Okay, so yes, this is the one that we just edited. I am going to go back and pick a different. Instead of the multimedia, I'm going to do the B1 because I know I also pulled that one. And then we'll relink it in the dashboard and see what we get. So you can see with the criteria here that we have total book title usage, and we have a greater than 0. And I'm just going to get rid of the greater than 0. And to make sure that I have the correct usage details, yeah, because this usage data details folder no longer exists. It's now R5 and R4. So this is the one that we want to be TRB1. Great. Save. Now, electronic usage. So that one's going to get pulled into full book usage, but we need to link it to the right one. So we're going to delete this one and pull in this one that we just edited and save. And change the date. Ha ha! Huzzah! So yes, if you have all the sushi stuff set up, correcting all of these IPED reports for long-term use is going to take quite a bit of time and kind of a very systematic approach to making sure that you are linking to your own local analyses that you've copied over. So I totally understand if you don't have this set up, if this round of ACRL and IPEDS, you say chuck it and pull them manually. However, I think that I could, I probably have time to help at least a few institutions get their stuff relinked if you're really, like have absolutely nothing to go on. And otherwise, like I'm happy to help you over the coming year, get this ready for next year. Because as we can see, there's clearly something going on with the IRM1 report. However, it does look like our TRB1 worked great. So, and then basically, so if we say, you know what, we don't even, this is going to be our all the time statistics dashboard, and we're going to end up doing some other new dashboards in it. So, and I don't want to get confused, I am going to rename this. And what I like to do with the names as well is put in my last edited date, so that when I go back in, if I've got different versions of the same report, I have that version control going on. So I'm just going to name this one January 2023. It doesn't really need to be more specific than that. So I can do some of the updates that we're seeing that we need in the shared folder of the Whack to Click, like moving us into C5. But you will still probably want to make sure that if you want to change specifics, you're relinking. But it seems like perhaps even Wade's version, because that's the one I copied, he did not then update that one with like a local version of the original. So yeah, now that I am understanding that relationship between all of those shared ones a little bit better, I will start working on getting those updated so that when they get copied over, they're correct. I can send out an email to the listservs when they are all updated to I say local, but updated to Whack to Click owned analyses, so that we're not accidentally linking back to that KLN version. So I am very happy to have walked through this today with you guys. Okay. Yes, Kirsty. So copying and pasting into the dashboard into a new folder isn't enough. You have to, it does give you links to the analyses in the original, but you have to save local versions of those and then swap them out in the dashboard. If I make a whack-to-click version, that won't be quite as critical because we won't be linking all the way back to KLN, and I will update to include counter 4 and counter 5, not just counter 5. That way, you know, you're pulling and I will get rid of the if usage is 0 filter, and some of the other things that exist in those original analyses. And then if you copy from the whack-to-click, it should be closer to good to go in your local instance. So yes, does that make, I think that makes sense to me. Does that sound like it makes sense after what we've all learned together? Thanks, Abby. Yeah, it's I'm gonna get a real webcam. It's like on the laptop and the laptop's angled funny, and trying to be fancy today because I have a GovCon meeting later. So yeah, not a haircut, just my flat iron, which I haven't used in so long that I forgot where the power button was. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, thought I'd like professional. I'm still wearing sweatpants. So yes, so I will, now that I really truly, and you can't ever say this really, you never know, Alma, but now that I have a much better understanding of what we need to make the whack-to-click one work again, I will get on that pronto, because if that was ready for you guys to copy by Monday, well, not by Monday because we get the day off, by Tuesday, then I think we'd really be moving this shared resource forward in a meaningful way. So that seems like an awesome measurable goal.
One more thing. So talking about IPEDS is reminding me of something we were kind of struggling with last year. There was something at one point where we were supposed to provide lists of like e-resources that we no longer had. So kind of like with
like cancel
IPEDS at one point, they, you know, they wanted to know like the number of books that you'd added and the number of books that you'd withdrawn. And there was something similar for e-resources. And we were really struggling with how to do that, I think.
they've removed that question.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think that was one of their, let's see how this goes. And maybe their feedback was like, are you kidding me? So yeah, yeah, I didn't see that question. So in the, let me go to the link to the IPEDS packet. So for the 2022 academic libraries packet, it only has you enter what you held at the end of fiscal year 22. If you've submitted IPEDS last year, it will like also populate the prior year amount. And so maybe that's what they're doing, is they're just kind of keeping their own trend data.
Maybe that was the tricky part, because I think, what was it? We had some subscriptions that ended after July. And so we couldn't build a report that looked at active collections or active portfolios, because those things had already been deactivated, but they were active for the previous fiscal year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Like in January, we had a really hard time using Alma to figure out what e-resources did we have access to
in July. So with that, I would say that if you wanted that to be pulled into the same dashboard, your best bet, because the analysis doesn't require that the vendor be active. It just requires that there is an uploaded report. So it doesn't have to be activated in CDI. It just has to exist in the system and have a support or a report.
And we're not loading counter reports, and we don't have sushi set up for anything.
Yeah, so if you're manually uploading all of those statistics reports anyway,
we're not, like,
oh, so then you're doing it in Excel?
Yeah, so we're not uploading counter at all at this point, and we also don't have sushi set up. So we were trying to figure out how in Alma Analytics do we build a snapshot of what e-resources were active in July. Okay,
so activated, like active in July. Okay, let's go into the electronic collections report. So they have a prompt built in this of electronic activation date. And then I'm going to go into the full dashboard of electronic collections.
Can you share your screen again?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Number 2. Okay. So, we've got electronic collections, and these are created on or before. So then what we need to do is have something that also says, rather than activated, was active on. Is that what you're getting at, Kirsty?
Yeah. Okay. And I don't even know if that's possible in Alma Analytics.
Okay, so it's going to be the prompt that needs to be edited. So if we go into okay, this one's here, and we want collection activation date. Okay. Okay, creation, modification.
Yeah, but then outside that prompt, is there any criteria in the analysis itself that's looking at, is this an active collection or are these active?
Oh, okay. So if we use the active to date, and it has been deactivated, Or if you use the available until date, I'm just double checking all of this.
Yeah, I think the staff at one of our libraries has a reminder that in July he goes in and he gets all these numbers,
so that it's,
but we don't necessarily remember to do that at the other libraries, or the librarians are off contract in July,
and
so there's nobody to do it.
okay, it is,
And we don't have to, like, we spent days and days and days trying to figure this out last year. So I don't expect that you'll have an answer in 10 minutes, but just something to look into. And Lori had a question in the chat.
okay, I'm gonna look into this because, because that's my job. Okay, chat. And of course, chat disappeared. Lori.
I will just ask, Carly, you mentioned that there is a packet available that had the questions. Our person who has the credentials is out on emergency medical leave. Oh, okay. So this is the library.
Yes, so this
Questions part.
is where it is, and I have put a link to it in the statistics and analytics toolkit.
Awesome.
Down there.
Cool. And this document is on our LibGuide thingamajiggy, right?
It is not yet. The link
Okay.
is available in these in the meeting minutes today and
Awesome.
And last time. I think I probably shared the wrong. Yeah, I made y'all viewers, not editors, so you can't copy it. Here, I will paste a link that will allow you to copy that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, when I get this more in, I won't say final form, but enough of a form that I feel like it's a toolkit, it will go into the drive and there will be a link from the website. But yeah, this IPEDS instruction packet was super helpful because you can access this even if you are not the submitter for your institution, and you can also print it so that you can, like, you can fill it out and print it and hand it or save it as a PDF for the person. It's all part of the survey materials. The package is everything. It's the overview, the questions, and the instructions. But if you just go to this page, okay, don't load, goofy. I love when a page like exists by URL but not by so I just went to report your data, and then it says survey schedule and materials and current survey materials. And you can look up your institution, or if you just say two-year public order view all, you can see it gives you the materials. So in academic libraries is all the way at the bottom, and there's only one version. So here's the form, here's the instructions separately, the package is just both. And this just helps with putting the information together, but it's not where you submit it. So
that was exactly what I needed. Thank you. And I think our person will be back by the time this is supposed to be submitted, or we can find a workaround by then. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, IPEDS is not due until, I put it in here, April 5th. So if you do need some emergency backup assistance on that, I can help out a little bit since I'm playing with this stuff anyway. So yeah. Well, this was great. Learned a lot. And hopefully it was helpful. The recording will be available. I'll put the link. I'll figure it out. It'll be there. And I'll send it out in the listserv because I think a lot of people were very interested in this. So, and Tuesdays. But yeah, we're at 10:53. We're gonna continue with stats next week. So I'm gonna get my hands on some of my old raw data stuff from vendors, and we will kind of talk about creating a quote unquote dashboard in Excel. It's not a real dashboard, as my quote unquote Excel wizard husband likes to tell me, but it is nice data visualization in one place using those raw reports from vendors, so that if you do not have Sushi and you don't have reports uploaded into Alma, because honestly, why would you do it manually? We can still kind of get you set up to analyze that data as quickly and smoothly as possible to either share out to stakeholders or use in ACRL and IPEDS. So, and Tuesday might be a little thin just because 3-day weekend, but we'll have a little something, and then on Thursday probably a nice long instructional session. So any questions that I might answer right now, or requests for, you know, specific data from those raw reports that you're looking at outside of IPEDS or ACRL that I could make sure I've got a way to pull? Okay. Well, not hearing anything, I'm gonna let you guys go prep for the GovCom meeting. I may also be sharing out in the Primo listserv, if you're on that one, this wonderful UX webinar that I viewed yesterday from Niche Academy, that was led by Mark Aaron Polgar, who just released an ALA book on signage. And I just love everything he says, and he was kind of a hoot to watch. So Canadian, very, very hands talky as well. All right, so have a great long weekend, everyone, and we will see you on Tuesday.